Gina Lollobrigida was born on July 4, 1927, in Subiaco, Italy. Destined to be called the most beautiful woman in the world, Gina possibly had Saint Brigid as part of her surname. She was the daughter of a furniture manufacturer and grew up in the pictorial mountain village. The young Gina did some modeling and, from there, went on to participate successfully in several beauty contests. In 1947, she entered a beauty competition for Miss Italy but came in third. The winner was Lucia Bosè, born 1931, who would go on to appear in over 50 movies, and the first runner-up was Gianna Maria Canale, born 1927, who would appear in almost 50 films. After appearing in a half-dozen films in Italy, it was rumored that in 1947, film tycoon Howard Hughes had her flown to Hollywood. However, this did not result in her staying in America, and she returned to Italy. Her Hollywood breakout movie would not come until 6 years later in the John Huston film Beat the Devil, 1953. These are my top 10 Gina Lollobrigida movies. At number 10. Beautiful but Dangerous, 1955. An heiress returns to her hometown to shower gifts on the people who donated money in order for her to undergo a life-saving operation when she was a child. However, the woman is not prepared for the consequences of her good deed. Comedy drama, starring Gene Simmons, Robert Mitchum, Arthur Honeycutt, and Edgar Buchanan. At number 9. Frisky, 1954. Antonio Vittorio de Sica is in love with the midwife Annarella, Marissa Merlini, knowing that she has a son. Both of them are in love with each other until the father of the kid, who also serves in the military, appears and, with the help of the priest Don Emidio, Virgilio Riento, is reunited with his son. The villagers start spreading gossips about the Marshal and Maria, which will reach Pietro too. One day, during lunch at the house of Maria's cousin, the Marshal dances with her and is seen by both Pietro and Annarella. Having to spend the next 20 months far from the village, Pietro, Roberto Risso, asks the Marshal to take care of Maria, Gina Lollobrigida. Despite not being happy to spend time with the captain, because of her poverty and her need to collect a dowry, she goes to serve at the Marshal's house, since his maid, Caramella, Tina Picca, is ill. At number 8. Beat the Devil, 1953. In this John Huston film, which features an unusual mix of adventure, comedy, and crime elements, Billy, Humphrey Bogart, and Maria Dannreuther, Gina Lollobrigida, are among a number of travelers stranded in Italy en route to Africa. While the Dannreuthers seem like an average couple, they have the same goal as Mrs. Gwendolyn Chelm, Jennifer Jones, and some of their other shifty companions, to lay claim to property that is supposedly rich with uranium. At number 7. Woman of Straw, 1964. Charles Richmond, Ralph Richardson, a ruthless millionaire on his deathbed, has decided to leave his entire fortune to charity. His nephew Tony, Sean Connery, who wants to get his hands on his uncle's millions, enlists a beautiful nurse named Maria, Gina Lollobrigida, to seduce and wed Charles, then inherit his wealth. Tony, who is to split the money with Maria after the old man dies, is dismayed when the young woman actually falls for Charles and has second thoughts about the scheme. At number 6. Fanfin La Tulip, 1952. Roguish young peasant Fanfin, Gerard Philip, escapes being wed to a farm girl when a gypsy, Adeline, Gina Lollobrigida, predicts that he'll find glory in the army, then marry a princess. After enlisting, Fanfin learns that Adeline is the recruiter's daughter and offered a phony prediction to get him to join, but he decides to make the fortune come true anyway. During a sword fight, he rescues the grateful king's daughter, which convinces him that fate is on his side. At number 5. Trapeze, 1956. Mike Ribble, Burt Lancaster, is a hard-drinking tent pitcher. His career as a famous trapeze artist ended years ago after attempting a triple somersault gave him a permanent limp. Young acrobat Tony Curtis, tracks Mike down and asks him to teach him the dangerous stunt. Mike first refuses, but is convinced by his ex-lover, Rosa, Katie Gerardo. Mike and Tino have a shot at the big time, but the two men are driven apart by the scheming of Lola, Gina Lollobrigida, an Italian trampolinist. At number 4. Come September, 1961. American mogul Robert Talbot, Rock Hudson, customarily spends the month of September in his lush Italian villa. But this year he arrives early and gets a surprise. His money-grubbing overseer has turned the villa into a hotel in his absence. Infuriated, Talbot is ready to kick his teenage guests out at first, until he unexpectedly takes on the role of chaperone. Meanwhile, the playboy fights to save his on-the-rocks relationship with feisty Italian Lisa Fellini, Gina Lollobrigida. At number 3. Solomon and Sheba, 1959. Near death, King David has a vision that his poet's son, Solomon, Yul Brynner, should succeed him, rather than hot-headed Adonijah, George Sanders. Furious, Adonijah departs the court, swearing he will become king. Other rulers are concerned that Solomon's benevolent rule and interest in monotheism will threaten their tyrannical polytheistic kingdoms. The Queen of Sheba, Gina Lollobrigida, makes an agreement with the Egyptian pharaoh, David Farrar, to corrupt Solomon for their mutual benefit. At number 2. Bread, Love, and Dreams, 1953. After being transferred to a sleepy village in the mountains, Italian police chief Antonio Carottenuto, Vittorio De Sica, decides to occupy his time by finding a wife. When he meets knockout Maria de Rittis, Gina Lollobrigida, otherwise known as Frisky, Carottenuto makes his move, but the town heartbreaker already has her mindset on Pietro Stelluti, a young cop on his squad. However, Carottenuto still might find a wife in midwife Annarella Murziano, Marissa Merlini. At number 1. The Hunchback of Notre Dame, 1956. Much like the jet-lag version, the 1956 version of Hunchback follows the book pretty faithfully. Sure, they add things, remove things and combine things, but this version is the most faithful known movie version. It starts with the theme of an ankh, which they say means evil destiny. Bit heavy-handed, but at least it's there in the movie. From there the movie follows the book. We have the Feast of Fools, Gringoire's failed morality play, Esmeralda dances, Frollo is a priest who stares, Quasimodo is named King of Fools, Clopin begs, the kidnapping, Gringoire, and Esmeralda are married, Phobos is a sort of a jerk, Frollo practices alchemy jolly spells, and we get that vault ending where after Esmeralda dies, and placed into the vault at Mount Firkin, Quasimodo goes in and lays down beside her to die.
People get advantage of her. She's Italian, she reacts.
Come sta, Francesca?
Ciao, nephew. It's good to see the winery at work. Ours has been idle for months.
Well, I'm sure Angela's windfall should change that.
I think I will name a wine after her.
High acid content, I presume.
Sour grapes, nephew.
Thanks again for watching this video. Don't forget to share, subscribe, and of course, we'll see you again next time.